I am Kate Valka. I'm from Elsevier, and I was supposed to be sharing this case study with my with Yanis from University of Latvia. Yanis worked with me for 6 years, and we had a chance to collaborate together on enhancing the research excellence at University of Latvia. Unfortunately, he cannot be with us today because there is a strike of Lufthansa and his flight got cancelled. So I will be doing the presentation from both perspectives, which is very fun because the first version was that it was supposed to be my interview with Yanis. So now I'm going to interview myself. Yes, I will be changing the hats and the seats. But coming to the presentation, I will try to tell you the story how we were working with Yanis over the years on enhancing the research excellence of university. It's going to be a case study, and this is really a practical example of how institutions move from data to insight and then to action. So they actually went through the whole story. So first of all, I think the most important part is that data-driven strategy is really important, and that's one of the things that were from very beginning of my relationship with Yanis kind of very important in how we were approaching the issues, challenges, and problems. That university needs to actually operate in a very competitive global environment, and we need some data being able to compare the university's excellence, compare the impact, see the publications, see how many citations we have, and then also align with the trends. The trends is mostly global rankings. That was one thing that we were looking also at it, but it also was about the societal impact, because University of Latvia back then was really looking into how research can support the society around them and what can they do to make sure that the work they are doing is actually important for the surroundings. So strategic decisions increasingly definitely rely on research analytics and benchmarking, and the institutional strategy that was published by University of Latvia that is covering from 2021 to 2027 was mostly based on the metrics. What I really love about the strategy that you can see here is also that it's only 23 pages. In Eastern Europe, we love to do the strategy that is 100, 200 pages at least. And then you have heard there everything. So that was quite an exception when I saw that after so many conversations, so many discussions, so many analyses that we were doing, that actually they end up with 23 pages, very easy to read for everyone, every researcher. Every researcher could understand, from example, that from having 1 out of 4 publications within international collaboration, the goal is in 2027 to have 1 out of 2 with the international collaboration. So the goals were very simply explained to the researchers, because at the end of the day, university research strategy is for the researchers and for the community and for the management to be able to monitor. So a little bit of the context. University of Latvia is the biggest university in Latvia. It's also one of the oldest one. It was founded in 1999. It has a very high position right now, if we talk about Eastern Europe, in Times Higher Education World University ranking. And it is in top 100 if we talk about Times Higher Education impact ranking. There is over 3,000 faculty members. We have quite a lot of publications, around 15,000 students enrolled, and around 8% foreign students. The strategic ambition was to strengthen research excellence, international collaboration and global visibility. So the idea that we went out was to actually get the research analytics, and for that purpose we used SciVal. Then we were benchmarking what we found in the data with the chosen peers, and I'm going to also tell you what was the chosen peers. Then there was a definition of the research goals. So we identified a few areas where university was really excelling, and we made sure that we have also talents and we know who technically from countries around or countries in or researchers in the country could be potentially beneficial for the university to explore this. And then we went to the point of monitoring the infrastructure and trying to actually understand how we can make sure that the metrics are met. And one of the things that the university also was looking into was how to build the visibility, because it's not that easy when you are in Eastern Europe, far away somewhere, to build your visibility, make sure that you actually reach to everyone and show the research your research and achievements. So we were looking also for the solution that could help with that one. So there were few things. First of all, there was a need for the connected information. Let's put it this way. In all this plan, we need to make sure that we have a way to track the performance, we have a positioning, we have a partnership, we know how to emerge the direction. And with that one helped, of course, SciVal. So we made, I think everyone knows SciVal, but let me just make sure that we are on the same page. So first of all, we of course went to the research performance. We checked the University of Latvia, how is it performing, what is happening, what are the researchers, what are the rising stars. Then we benchmarked with peers. We used for this a benchmarking module. We made sure that we have enough information about collaboration and who is the best partner for the university. We analyzed the trends, and the trends were very interesting, because we found there one education discipline that university was not aware that how much in education they are skyrocketing and getting more and more visibility. And then, of course, we looked at the impact, which I said we were looking for the policy documents a lot. Universities really like into looking how they are supporting the societal impact. So that was a really big part of the analysis. So for the research analytics and for the what was important, definitely publications. There was big change of publications for University of Latvia. In the timeline, it started growing very fast. Benchmarking against peers, which I said, and I think on the next slide I have exactly the list of which peers. Citation impact analysis, that was quite a story for us and quite the finding, I believe, because one of the things that we found out during the analysis of the citations was that there is quite a big number of publications that are not cited. So I would say that publishing without impact is like sending emails that no one reads. And that was our feeling, like that the publications are not really, we are not meeting the idea of the viewers. And I think that this is what I'm saying is kind of like insight that Yanis would share with you particularly today. But as he's not here, I will try to emphasize that this finding was one of the main reasons why the management of university really started to get attention to the analysis and data. Once we showed them which publications are not cited, which researchers, which fields are really not working. That was like really shifting the idea of, okay, we need to start to talk about what to do and how to make it better. And of course, we looked at the collaboration patterns. It's kind of like for Latvia, it's very much that they mostly collaborate with Estonia and Lithuania because they are the closest neighbors. We were trying to see how we can actually expand in the whole Europe, make sure that it's not only staying within the Baltic countries region. But there are some things that you cannot jump over. That's why the main benchmark was against University of Tartu, Vilnius University, Riga Students University, and Riga Technical University. So these are like a regional institutions that we were really looking into how they are doing. And then to this we added the peer institutions. So we were looking at University of Turku, which is Finland, at another university, which I'm going to most probably pronounce wrongly, so I'm going to skip it, another in Finland. Then we have university in Denmark, and of course one more in Sweden and Germany, 2 universities in Germany. These universities were not chosen by accident. They have similar profile to University of Latvia. They are publishing in similar research, and they are very often also partners in terms of, for example, we have European alliances in a European Union, which means that some universities created an alliance that they are supporting each other, and that's why they are also on this list. In terms of benchmarking, we were focused on the Times Higher Education metrics because at some point university decided that this is where they see the potential for actually participating in it. Metrics analyzed, of course, publication output, citation impact, research strength, collaboration rates, and subject strengths. We were really focused on this for the reason that university put in their strategy also information that they want to improve their position by at least 100 places over the 6 years period. That was one of the ambitions. The other one was that actually Riga Students University, so another university in Latvia, in 2020 appeared to be in top 100 in Times Higher Education World University ranking in the first year, which was another motivation for University of Latvia, as they are almost neighbors to each other, seeing each other from the in front of the streets, to actually try to get the position better and better. So the strategy was aligned with the global rankings in terms of metrics, but it was never the main goal to actually go through the rankings position. There were some other stuff that we are also putting, and that's something that the management of the university was always telling to me, that it's very important to understand that rankings are important, but they cannot be goal itself. So they were trying to make sure that at least the goals that they are putting in a strategy, they are aligned also with what is expected from the university. The financing also of the university works in a way that it's a government that is putting quite a lot of money in the research for the university, so they have to be aware that they need to align with the ministry's goals. The key findings from the analysis we did over, I would say, 3-4 years in SciVal were strong research areas were arts and humanities and medicine and health sciences. Emerging research field was education studies, and that was a big surprise because somehow that was not on the spot of the university management at some point when we showed the data and we started really looking into details, it appears that yes, we had some rising stars, new researchers, young researchers who were really, really good, and they were going on a global scales in terms of visibility. And then we found, as I said, the already gap in an international collaboration, which was addressed by trying to explain that this needs to be focused on researchers and the citation impact pattern, where we saw that there is quite a lot of publications that are not cited at all. So that was kind of also information that this needs to be changed. And from that strategy, we went to actually thinking about how to go further. So what we can do to monitor, because we already know what is the situation right now. Now we are trying to figure out what to do and how to make sure that we catch the full picture. And this is actually when another system stepped in, which is Pure. And this is a research information management system that the university was for quite some time looking into trying to implement at their university. It helps to gather all the information at the campus. So we are putting in one system information from repository, we are putting information from Scopus, we are putting information about funding, we are putting information about also some activities like conferences, being in the board of the startup, being in the board of the company. And that was for them important because they were happy with analysis from SciVal, because without the benchmarking, they said they wouldn't be able to even to really define what is the right direction. But to be able to monitor the progress, they needed a little bit more information, and this information was really in different sources, in different places at the university. So the goal was here to improve the research likelihood of acquiring the funding. They felt also that they want to secure more long-term funding, collaborate with more partners, manage the performance, and boost the visibility. To give you the idea to implement Pure system, it's, as I said, the most important part is the researcher. So we are kind of deciding that the persona is the most important. And then to this person, we are connecting all the informations. And normally when we talk about the systems in universities, it very often looks like this. I'm going to walk. So here, that it's very disrupted and it's in different places. It's not really organized. So the university said, we really, really want to organize the stuff. We want to know what our researchers do. We want to know what projects they bring. We want to know what equipment even they use for the publications, because if we have equipment and we don't know who is using it for what, then why actually we are paying for this equipment? And this is actually what you can see here, the outcome of this thinking. So university decided to implement the system, which enables them to track research outputs, monitor faculty performance, support research evaluation, and generating the institutional reports. This is their portal, so this is how the outside world can now see them in a very organized way, their profiles, the research output, how the university is organized, and more. It's still on the early phase because they are still working on adding extra activities for the researchers. But that's an outcome after how many? It's 9 months from the moment they decided to actually implement the system. And this is to show you more how it looks for them. So these are the researchers at the University of Latvia and their profiles. This is the collaboration of University of Latvia. The big part and the big plus also here was that this system allows them also to include local publications. By local publications, I mean publications that are not necessarily indexed in Scopus because, for example, they are published in the Latvian journals, and this is not necessarily publications that are available for everyone. And that was a missing part. As I'm saying, arts and humanities, very important field. Arts and humanities have a tendency very often, for example, in law, to publish in the local languages, in the local journals that are not necessarily available in the global databases. That's how they are also trying to manage this part of the university output to make sure that this is really working for them and they see full picture of the university. So yeah, the benefits are global visibility, and that one I already talked with Janis. He said that they are seeing that this is really helping them to introduce to other partners and university in Europe. Easier discovery of researchers, and in that sense they are seeing it more from the business perspective. There is quite a lot of startups in Baltic countries. They are very often looking for some researchers who could help them with, I don't know, identifying how to make a surface better, less resistant, and etc. That is making it much easier to find these researchers, as the startups are not having access to SciVal, for example, but they do have access to the portal. And it also helps to enhance the international collaboration. So, summing up, I'm not sure if I'm summing up too early. I think I still have 15 minutes. Okay. We will have time for questions. Good. So summing up, that this was a process. This is like really, when you think about this, it's first of all, it's checking what is currently happening with the university, then trying to figure out what are the directions and where is the strategy, then improving the research monitoring, so trying to make sure that we see the full picture, everything that the researchers are publishing, and then making sure that with that one, we are also increasing the international visibility. So integration actually is the clue, the key thing here, because we integrated the analytics, which is SciVal, with the system that is helping us to pull out everything in one place and making sure that we are able to monitor university from every possible angle. So the challenges, there were also challenges. I promised Janis I'm going to talk also about what were the challenges. First challenge, ensuring data quality. We spent a lot of time trying to make sure that the profile of University of Latvia is actually having the right, correct publications, because of different surnames, because of researchers having the same surnames on different universities, researchers having multiple affiliations that were not necessarily correctly assigned. So the data governance here was essential, and it's essential for both systems, for the SciVal and the Pure system, which is the CRIS system. Second challenge, engaging the researchers. As long as we were trying to, in Janis' office, figure out what is the data, what are the publications, and etc. It was, let's say, me and him. I was helping, he was leading, and trying to figure out what we can do with this data. The moment it came to it, we need to start to present this data to the researchers. We need to talk with the management of the university, explain them everything. That was where the challenge was coming. And that's what we learned very hard, that analytics must connect to the strategy. As if they are just an analytics, they are not really getting the enough attention from the other stakeholders. And then aligning institutional workflow. Implementing any solution, even solution like SciVal, Pure, and any other, requires actually that the institution is going to use it. And we found it very difficult in some points to explain to the stakeholders, to the researchers, why actually they should use certain solutions. And it took time us to actually make sure that they are going to get the value from what we are proposing. So now really summing up, key takeaways from this presentation that I would love you to take from my speech is data-driven analysis supports informed strategy, and there is no doubt that this, when you take a data, it will always help you to reach to some of the conclusions, but the context is absolutely crucial. So don't count that someone from Elsevier can come and do the whole analysis. We can help, but without Yanis and without his knowledge of the context, that would not work out. Research information system or operationalized strategy, and that's true. Research information system really helps in terms of managing the full picture of the university. And I think here Yanis would tell you much more than me, but I see that there is really a progress at the university in terms of how they are looking at it. And of course, visibility platforms, they strengthen the global research presence. It's easier to promote your research when there is something where you can actually show yourself and it's going to be available for everyone, not only research community, because that is something that also we had multiple conversations that at the end of the day, Pure system and the portal, it's not really only for the research community, it's mostly also for the outside, like I said, startups, companies, and etc. Possible partners. They are really looking for information. They are expecting to get it very, very easy. They don't want to call someone in the university. They prefer to find it online. And that's very crucial to make it easier. And with that one, I would like to say thank you very much for the attention. Yes, in case you want to check if I said the truth, there is also email of Yanis, so you can text him, email him. He was already sending me messages on WhatsApp how it goes, how it went. So thank you.